goodness, it has been too long.
I know. I'm sitting there with I've got my Wacom tablet up, and I was working on the graphic for this.
Mm-hmm.
Figured, why not?
I got my punchy card from the ramen place.
Oh yeah.
The spicy ramen place.
Did they give you?
I looked at the guy.
Huh?
I asked the guy. I was like, why didn't they give me this the first time I came here? I've been here 3 weeks, and this is the first punchy card I got.
Yeah.
Man,
Did they give you?
I came back.
Hey man, did they give you a punch?
I came back to the hotel and I flopped on the freaking bed like a beached whale. I was just like,
oh, yeah,
done.
Do they give you a punch per 1,000 milligrams of salt?
I think it's per visit.
Oh, okay.
It was, what was it? It was 19,000 won for basically all you could eat ramen.
Oh man!
And what it is though is have you had soldier stew?
No, I haven't eaten it.
So it's like spam and cut up hot dogs and
I know about the
tofu.
cut up hot dogs.
Yeah, tofu, bean sprouts, bean curd, and this really really hot sauce.
Oh no, thanks. You lost me.
And it's just it's all tossed in there, and then they add broth, and they put a little egg timer on 10 minutes. You add the noodles when there's like 3 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, they have stacked packages of ramen.
Oh, okay.
And you just help yourself with that. So
well,
it's good.
Okay.
Believe it.
I know. There was, Chim and I were there on the last day, and we're going to go down to Seoul, find some place to eat, because I really wanted some hot bibimbap. And we were walking around Seoul, and it was like 104 degrees with the heat index, so we were just sweating, soaking through our shirts and stuff. But we stumbled upon this place. It was like a hole in the wall in this back alley. We went inside, and I was like, they got bibimbap on the picture menu outside. So we went in there, and they were like, 2? And we're like, yeah, there's only 2 of us. Mm-hmm. And there's like 6, there's tables set up for like 4 and 6 people.
Right.
And I guess they want to save those for those people, so they walk us straight to the back, and they put us in a closet. No, they put us in a closet. It was like a little
Harry
room
Potter.
I felt like Harry Potter underneath the stairs. Uncle Vernon put us there, but I mean, it was like we were in the closet with the air conditioners. Like the air conditioner's blowing out of the closet, and we're inside. And I was like, she goes, menu? And I said, yeah, menu. And she's like, no menu. Picture. And just pointed to the wall. And I was like, I was like, all right, that's no problem. Bibimbap. And she goes, bibimbap, no. And I was like, bibimbap, yes, picture on the wall. And she was like, no. I said, all right, well, what else do you want, Chim? So we opted for the cooking the meat in the middle of the table. And, so they brought us the bucket of coals and put it in the table. And proceeded to treat us like we were like little kids, I mean, everybody else, they dropped the meat off and like go away, but the lady stayed and like cut up our meat and pushed it around on the grill for us. And
she's like, "Oh, you stupid round eye."
I know. It's like, oh, yeah.
Oh shoot.
So she was like, "All right, well, I'm just gonna hold your hand here. You don't know what you're doing." I said, I was like, and I was talking to Chim. I was like, she's sitting there holding our hand, with this. Like, I don't know how to cook meat. And Chim's laughing, and she keeps saying stuff to Chim in Hangul.
Oh, yeah.
But Chim's like laughing. Yeah, so he's just laughing and nodding, but not responding to what she's saying.
Right.
And so I just keep talking, and nobody can understand me. I'm talking up a storm. You know, I'm like, hey, why is she cutting up our meat? I don't understand that. She set down some garlic, like whole garlic cloves, and I was like, oh yes. So I picked some up with my chopsticks and set it on the
Oh,
grill.
shoot.
And she looked at me, and then real slow reached over and picked the garlic up, and I was like, she's gonna pick up my garlic, Chim. And she picked up the garlic I put on the grill, and looked at me sideways, and then just put it back in the bowl where I got it from. And I was like, I guess no roasted garlic for me.
What?
You know, because I was like, no, I want that. And she didn't. She just went, and picked it up and put it back.
What?
I was like,
the heck?
okay.
Wow.
So this other lady came in and started like talking to me real excitedly. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. The other lady goes, and waved her hand at her, and then reached behind me and picked an apron off of a peg on the wall because we were back in the closet. So the aprons were behind us.
Yeah.
So she took the apron, and the other lady was happy and left. Well, Chim and I are sitting there eating, and Chim's just chowing down. It's like he's eating all his meat, and I still have like 6 pieces on my side of the grill. And I'm just soaking them in the sauce and making little wraps and stuff and enjoying it. And she came back over and sort of rearranged my meat and then took one and slid it over to Chim's side. And I was like, hey, man, what the hell's going on? It's messed up. She's taking my food like I'm being punished for eating slower. And Jim's like, yeah, that's what happens. You eat slow, they're just going to come and take it away. I was like, man, that's jacked up. So she then they came and took the coals back, and you know, I was like, it's real hot back here. And she was like, oh, it's hot, yeah. And so she ran and got 2 fans, like little cyclone fans, and pointed them into the closet with us.
Nice.
And who knows, maybe I'll stick my picture of I took a picture of our closet that we were eating in. Maybe I'll stash that in the video somewhere. If this
Yeah, I've
goes up
got,
on YouTube.
They gave us, they're like little blue bandanas, but stitched inside of them you got ice packs, so, you know, you throw them on your neck. It's the closest I'll ever come to wearing a cravat like Fred from Scooby-Doo. But, yeah. Oh, well, I guess that's a good intro to this discussion, because this is the episode of Two Lazy Guys where we are just going to BS it up, because I am live from Korea.
Yeah.
We missed your window because you went back when? Like 4 days, 5 days ago?
Yeah, it would have been Saturday. So, yeah, 5?
You're barely getting the sleep schedule back on track.
Yeah, I know. I was up. I fell asleep the other night at 11:30 and woke up at 2 and couldn't get back to sleep.
So, see, for time reference, it is 14:15 in the afternoon on Friday here.
Oh, okay. It's 12:15 a.m. on Friday for me. You're 14 hours ahead.
Yep.
How is tomorrow?
Actually, it's quite temperate. Weather ain't bad. It hasn't been raining like it has been for most of the days, so it's actually pretty nice.
That's good.
Walking around, I didn't get the sweaty balls. Sweaty.
That's good.
Sorry, sweaty.
Sweaty. Yeah. Yep.
Trademark.
Yep. I know. Well, there's a guy who lives over there. That's an acquaintance of mine and a friend of Chim's, Lonnie.
Oh, did you meet up with him?
No, I didn't meet up with him.
Did you tell him Jariah still lives?
No.
He didn't ask about me?
No.
What?
Yeah, you know.
Man, come on. We still email to this day. I mean, I met him I don't know how long ago. It must have been 2013 or something. And I'm like, Jariah's still alive. No corpus.
Okay. No.
It's like Game of Thrones. You don't see a body, they ain't dead.
That's true. And sometimes even when you do, they ain't dead.
Oh, touche. Well, yeah. So Korea, that is the discussion of this one.
Yeah. Well, you know,
on the 16th floor in Daegu, beautiful Daegu. Chimley.
Huh?
Chimley forgot where I was because he was like, "Oh, you gonna come join Dave and I?" And I was like, no.
Yeah, why not, man?
It's like a 40-minute flight from Incheon, or 48. So.
Well, so you don't have to fly. You just take the train.
Take the train, and it'd still take me, what, like 3 hours?
I don't know. It took me an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, but you were further north, right?
Yeah, probably. I was in Humphreys.
Yeah. Well, and see, to get all the political bull crap out of the way, everybody's been keyed into, what the president had to say to the wonderful people of North Korea there.
Oh, and yeah, I saw that.
So, yeah, everybody's paying attention to that. But, nah, we didn't even talk exit strategy or anything like that. It's just business as usual. No worries.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was when we were over there, too. Nobody even really mentioned it.
No. I mean, people were like, oh, look what's going on here. They're talking about doing something to Guam and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody else back home is like, oh my goodness, it's so scary. And it's like, no, it really isn't. And I kept telling people, I'm like, when you're in a fight, street fight, I don't care what kind of fight, the closer you are, the harder it is for anybody to lay a good solid punch on you. Unless they have some solid jabs. So, I feel pretty safe being this close, honestly.
Yeah, I was pretty good as well.
They've been testing long range, not short range.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, mostly I just wanted to talk about the beautiful people of Korea, beautiful country of Korea, beautiful food, the beautiful food. PlayStation 4 controllers you can only buy in this region.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. All right, if you say so.
It's already packed up, but yeah.
Oh, when are you coming back?
I actually could not check into my flight. But I leave. Let's see, wheels up 7:05 tomorrow.
Okay, so they're gonna put you in the wheel well then.
Yeah, that's the Incheon. I'm gonna cup the wheel.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see, and then I think Incheon to Detroit.
Oh man!
And then Detroit home.
Yeah,
beautiful Detroit. But you know what? My layover isn't even that long, so I'm good with it. It's no stupid 9-hour layover or anything like that. So, but no, yeah, I take off 7:05 Saturday here, and I land 1:24 Saturday. Since I'm going back in time.
Bad. Yeah.
The plane's going to reach 88 miles per hour, and then we'll go back in time.
Mm-hmm. I know. I thought our plane was going to get struck by lightning on the way back to fire up the flex capacity. Yeah, we flew through some crazy storms in the Midwest.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, there was an older couple in front of me. Everything is cool the whole flight from Detroit into KC, but we hit those storms and the plane started shaking. And I swear to God, it was like, I'm pretty sure it was one of those two just absolutely shit their pants.
Oh, no.
Because it wasn't like, I was like, oh, God, that one's, like, potent. You know what I mean?
Fresh.
And, yeah. And so I looked to the left, and the dude who was sitting next to me was, like, rubbing his nose, and the lady on the end was, like, trying to get away from it, too. The dude across the aisle was just unabashedly, like, pulled his shirt up over his head.
See, close quarters like that, I don't look forward to the return flight, but that was something that I had to figure out for myself. Walking around, everybody wears a medical mask. I mean, they have like collector's edition medical masks and stuff. And I finally figured it out. It has nothing to do with air quality.
No.
Because the air is actually fine here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rate it better than freaking Los Angeles. But honestly, I think the reason they do it is because of the smells.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, it started
just
out...
Just walking around.
Like...
It started out what?
I thought they kind of started out as like... maybe wrong, but I thought they kind of started out as... whenever they had a bunch of the virus scares and stuff going on a few decades ago, they were wearing them, to help prevent diseases and infections. But it turned out that they weren't effective for that at all.
No.
They don't filter out anything. Like viruses just run right through them. But some of the younger people kind of latched onto them as a fashion statement, and they've hung around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I honestly think it's because of some of the open sewage. Earlier as I was walking by a restaurant, it was just like if Dracula had walked by it, he would have died. He would have fainted dead away because it was strong garlic. Woo. Man. But yeah, it's not even unwashed bodies or anything like that. It's just there are some offensive smells fluttering by, and that's gonna happen with so many people. And so funny story. When I landed, coming here, right? I landed in Incheon. I was walking around, just been on the plane for, I don't know, 15 hours? Longer than that, counting the first flight. And I stayed awake the entire time to try to acclimate my body and all that. And so I had already reached that point of being awake for over 24 hours where I was a little tipsy. Mm-hmm. And first thing that came to my mind, being surrounded by all the many chims, was that Family Guy episode where he's in Chinatown.
Oh my God!
And so I literally looked at a guy and I pointed and I said, "Oh my God, it's Jackie Chan!" And the guy, in as good an English as possible, came right back and said, "Oh my gosh, it's Ethan Hawke!"
Yeah.
We just shared a good old laugh, and I was like, "Yeah." It was so great. Yeah, it was so great. But yeah, that was pretty much how my trip started.
Yeah, well, that's not too bad.
No, it was cool.
I always have a blast.
That long leg. There was nobody sitting between me and the gal, so I had all the room. I had the window.
Yeah, I looked into that as well.
I had the window going back. Yeah, it shouldn't be bad. But I got the window going back, and but I'm like in the back of the bus. My seat's like 59 kilo. I looked into moving up, and it's like $89 to move 6 rows.
Yep.
And I'm like, no. We're not even talking, Comfort Plus or nothing. It's Gem Pop back of the bus.
Yeah. Yep, stacking them like cordwood back there.
Oh yeah, and the smells are odoriferous.
Yep, airplanes get rough. I haven't been on any international flight where I was like, oh man, it's like they've got, bowls of potpourri out or Glade air fresheners, it's nothing like that. It's just a bunch of, like several hundred people who've been in a giant steel tin can.
Yeah, I still got these earplugs from the flight over. These are going to become nose plugs.
Yeah, it's...
It does. It gets kind of rich and thick in the back of the bus. But nonetheless, I don't know what was some memorable stuff that happened for you. I have honestly noticed in the time that since I've been here last, this place has cleaned up. I know they're getting ready for the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
here pretty soon. Granted, but. Man, you can't find any knockoff jerseys. You can't find any of that stuff around here.
Oh, you still can up by Osan and all those places.
Sweet.
They still had all that up there.
See, I'm going to be going back there, so that's where I'm going to be. Here, no, man, freaking, there's like Guess, there's Doc Martens, there's KFC right across the street,
Oh, man, there was man, the last time I think we were in Korea was like 4 or 5 years ago when I was there with a coworker, and we decided to go. Yeah, we went down to downtown Seoul, and I wasn't really familiar with how the subway system worked.
I was that coworker.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That wasn't the same trip where I almost bought that $400 jacket that
No.
Hug Me Like a Pillow?
No,
I still dream about that.
Well, I don't know. That may have been that trip, but you weren't downtown with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
everything's more memorable if I'm there. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's what the hell, man. I don't remember. What the hell did we do last podcast?
Wonder Woman?
No, it was Destiny.
Oh, Destiny.
But regardless, man, we were downtown and was like, man, I'm getting kind of hungry and it's getting late. It's like 8 o'clock, 8:30, and so I looked.
What's the subway got to do with that?
Well, I wasn't familiar with how the subway worked, so we're like, okay, walking around. I was like, well, let's check and see when the last train is.
Oh.
And whenever I looked, the last train that got us back out to where we needed to go to bed required that we go and get on a train in like 35 minutes.
Oh, crap.
And it was like an hour and a half ride, too, so it was already like 8:30. I think we had to be on the train at like 9:15 or something. And we were a ways away from the station. I was like, oh, God. So we're sort of doing the Olympics, fast walk, heading back, trying to get back to the station on time, but we wanted to stop and grab something to eat. The only place that was open was KFC. So we stopped in, and I was like, yeah, I want the 2-piece. So they gave me the 2-piece, and we're like 7,000 won, and I went, okay, here's 7,000 won, and they slid a wing, like the whole wing and a thigh across to me, and I was like, don't I get a biscuit and a drink? And they were like, no, that's set costs more. And I was like, it's $7 for a wing and a thigh?
For real?
Yeah. And I was, oh my God.
What the heck?
It's like, oh my God. No, man, it was like $6.50. The conversion rate's like $6.50. Because it's like 1,100 won. It's like 10 cents, so about 20 cents. I was like, oh my God, it's over $6.50 for 2 pieces of chicken with no drink and biscuit. So Nick was like, Nick was like, this is outrageous. But he went on ahead and bought some too because we were hungry. So we jumped, jammed that down and then went sprinting for the train, got on the train. And I get on the train and there's a Korean dude on there who's just drunk. Old dude. Looks like he was like 65, 70 and he's drunk. And he keeps pulling chestnuts. He's got chestnuts in his pocket. Oh, he keeps pulling these chestnuts out of his pocket, and he's like, hey. He would just go, something, and then hand one to me. And I'm like, no, I don't want it. And he's like, and then I'm assuming he was telling me how delicious they were. And then he would eat one.
Nah, he's trying to sell you his nuts to make some money.
Yeah. You know what? It's like, hey, on the subway. It's like, man, am I in New York? I don't know what's going on. Somebody's trying to give me some nuts. Yep. But he would not stop. That dude spent like 15, 20 minutes trying to get me to eat chestnuts, like lint-covered chestnuts he was pulling out of his pockets. I'm like, no, I don't want it. Get out of here, man. But I just kept talking to him like in English, and he was laughing, and he just kept talking to me in Hangul, and I was like, this is fun. So I think at some point I took a picture of him. I think I've still got it somewhere on a hard drive. I was, because I was like, take your picture. He's like, yeah. And then he cheesed and.
Hangul. Oh, I'm going to have to talk about that one. So, it's pretty funny. All the movies are in English and Hangul subtitled.
Yeah.
So usually on any given day I can wake up and they're playing something and it'll be in English. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. I tell you, I had rough days when I'd wake up, go through, over a dozen channels, and I couldn't find anything in English. And I'm just like, oh, I'm still in a foreign country.
Yep.
So I can only imagine how it'd be for them over there in the States because I can't find anything in Korean on our TV station, so they're probably like, everything's in English.
Yeah. It's, I was using the VPN back home whenever I was over there, so I VPN'd and tricked Netflix into thinking I was back home. So I could still use all my Netflix. And
I stream Netflix off my PS4, and it's working just fine. It's on a Korean server, granted, so there's more Korean choosings. But nah, man. I mean, I finished Jessica Jones. I finished Luke Cage, and I started Iron Fist. So I'm almost done with all the Marvel series.
Nice.
I think I'm like on episode 6 of Iron Fist, so not too shabby.
I think that's about where I left off on it too, Iron Fist.
Yeah. Well, Luke Cage, I kind of lost traction with it around episode 5. Really got into Jones, and Cage, man, oh geez, after 5 it really picked up. I enjoyed that. I really liked it. I liked his message. Good. I liked how everything was portrayed. I just think it's interesting how they've made the common thread, what could we call her? The Agent Coulson, if you will, of the TV series.
Yeah, I know. Trinity?
No. Not Trinity. She's been in pretty much all of them, I guess, but no, it's... I can't think of her name. Dang it. She's Hispanic. She's been in all of them. She's been in Daredevil. She's been in all of them. She's the nurse that... Yeah,
she's the night nurse.
Yeah, she has so much freaking medical knowledge and experience that she could, like, teach at Harvard. But, she's the one common thread because she keeps running into these super people. But...
Yeah.
I digress. I got off topic.
For that. And, it's the topic.
Yeah. Well, it's things that I've done while I'm here in Korea, here of late. But, no, I didn't bother with the DMZ this trip.
Oh, yeah?
I might have to make sure I explain acronyms to people that aren't indoctrinated. Demilitarized zone. That sits between North Korea and South Korea. You can go right up there and see the giant Korean flag and all that fun stuff.
It's like 2.5 miles wide, I think.
It's pretty amazing. And all the tunnels and things that they got going on there are pretty amazing. But no, I didn't bother with any of that this trip. Just came here, ate some dim sum. Mm-hmm. There's a really great place. It's like literally 3 shops down. They're about as big as your fist, and they give you 6 of them. And they're just these wonderful dumplings, meat and vegetable on the inside, and they just wrap them up like a little basket. Yeah, and you get 6 of those. They steam them. Steam them up right there in the baskets and stuff, and yum yum yum.
All right, I'm partial to the yakimandu myself.
Yeah, yakimandu's good too. Yeah, if that's stuff. Yeah. And oh my gosh, the freaking breakfast here has been, jeez. It's kind of been one of those trips where you eat such a big breakfast, you almost skip lunch and then go right into dinner.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
It's an all-you-can-eat breakfast type of thing. And I'm not going to know anything about it because when people come back here, this is where they're going to be laid up. I'm going to be in like some love motel where it's all red and green lights and big old bathtub with all the... what the heck? We just walked past a store. The name of it was Skin Food. Yeah. So I'm going to refer to all the lovely ointments and things that they put in the bathtub as skin food.
Yeah. You got a wide...
In the love motel.
Yep. The Skin Food's got a better buffet selection than the actual breakfast selection for my tummy.
Believe it. My goodness. It's pretty nuts. Well, yeah, no, if I could show you a sampling of my room here, if I turn my camera on, they have that odd thing where you have a sliding door, but you can look right into the shower stall, through the glass door of the shower stall, into, where the sink is and stuff, but then you can see through the glass doors right at my toilet. So, after a long, long flight, I did not use the latrine on the plane. I did not go to the bathroom on the plane. I got here, I checked in, got into my room, and I boom, straight to the toilet. And then I look over, and there's just the lights of the city, and I'm all, hey, everybody.
That's right. Yeah, you got to get to
Before I
the home
figured
bowl.
out about the sliding door. But see, in the past, like the love motels and stuff, when they have that set up to where it's basically so you can see the TV, they have a one-way speaker that you can turn on and off, so you can hear the TV in the bathroom.
Oh man, that was like my favorite hotel room I ever stayed in.
Right?
They had a bathtub that was in the bathroom, and I was like, man, there's a freaking window in the bathroom that had like a Venetian blind, and I was like, what is going on? And you go in there, and it was like, huh? So I actually climbed in the tub and like sat down in the tub, you know, in my clothes, fully clothed, and then pulled the shade up, and it's like it's right there, the TV's right there, and then there was a little intercom that you flip on, and it was like, oh, you can just soak in the tub and watch TV.
See, in this one, I got to wonder, and I'm like, is this a handicap room? It's not. For some reason, there's a phone right next to the toilet. I haven't figured that out yet because I haven't even picked it up. I'm afraid to.
There's one like that down at the airport. The airport hotel, there was a phone in the bathroom. And I sat there for a long time just wondering how many conversations have been had on that phone.
Now, I'm sure they were deep conversations too. Now, the one I was tempted to use it earlier today because I ran out of toilet paper. I was going to be like, this is probably like the bat phone directly to, hey, need TP.
Well, if that's it, probably would, you know, there'd be a little chute that would drop open.
Yeah.
You know, and it would come out. Because, man, some of that stuff, like I am super impressed with the way some of that stuff works. You know, over there, the toilets, you got the weird bidet thing.
Oh, you mean the little video camera?
Yeah, the little video camera. It looks like a video camera.
Turtle head video camera?
Yeah.
They don't have those here. They've updated them to where you have full control. So you don't even get to see that unless you turn it on. So the toilet seat, yes, these are things you're going to talk about when you come to don't take any offense to this, Korea, third world country, is the toilet seat is heated, which is awesome.
Yep.
You can also control the temperature of the water for the bidet, for the doucher.
Yep.
And until I figured out how to regulate the pressure, I didn't make much use of that because it was like steel spikes hitting my ball sack, and I'm like, ow, 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 hurt.
Yeah,
didn't feel good.
No, you know, you got
to calm that down.
Yeah, it's less than ideal, at least for me. If I go in to use the restroom, and you know, whenever I sit down, or well, before I can even sit down and use the toilet, I got to sign like a privacy release. Like, wait, what's this toilet got in it? It's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, that first time, man, when that little turtle head came poking out, it's all. I was like, what the? They got a camera in the toilet? What is happening in this love motel?
Well, you know, it's really interesting.
I figured out what it was.
Yeah, it's real interesting being, you know, even as limited of a citizen of the world as I am now, just to go around and see how, you know, comparatively, like how repressed America is. Like,
I agree.
You know, you go to Germany and there's after like 9 p.m. it's like there's like 4 porn channels turn on, like on basic cable. You know, like whoa. I mean, it's still softcore, you know, like HBO style, but man, it's right there on. You don't have to flip to, you know, any paid channels. It's just on.
Yeah. I mean, it's truth. That's just human body as an art form. It's not viewed as a taboo thing per se in other countries. Not even per se. It's not taboo really.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah. And I think we've had this conversation in the past. I don't know if we've done it in this forum or not, but between us, we've discussed how if you don't make something taboo, it's not going to be that big a deal. You know, Prohibition. Prohibition when it came to liquor back in the day. Hey, man, people started bootlegging, started making that moonshine because they couldn't get to it if the government hadn't made such a big deal about alcohol.
Yeah.
People would still be brewing in their bathrooms, you know.
Oh, I got a great big copper
wherever they want, but it's
cistern out back.
Wouldn't be that. It's just it does not become a big deal until you make it a big deal.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how everything is.
Well, I'd still do some moonshine and brew it up in the bathtub out back.
I thought you did it in a giant boot.
Well, the giant boot is for filtering.
Oh yeah, it's that like rubber galosh.
Yeah. Yeah, the knee-high galoshes.
Is that the name of your moonshine galosh?
It's called hip waders.
That'd be great. I'd drink to that. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't agree with you more. I think the way we repress ourselves is we throw up this facade of, well, it's not Christian. That's primarily what our country is. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a good Christian, Christianity in general, but you use that as a filter to justify your lifestyle. Did I just go too deep on myself there? I think I did.
Yeah, probably. At least at almost 1 a.m. for me, it's too deep. Oh, man. So, again, because I still didn't know how the subway works really well, I looked on this trip. On this trip.
Uh-oh.
Whenever they get late and you want to go away from town,
right,
all the trains run different. Like I took the one line from the town I was on, or the town I started out in, all the way into downtown Seoul. Yeah. Didn't get off. It was just a straight shot. It was great. So I'm like, okay, get on the one line, go back home. Get on the one line, go back home. After I think it was 22 stops, I was watching the next name of the next stop to make sure it was still going in the right direction because it forked. Well, it switched them with the wrong way. I was like, ugh. So I got off, got back on at the next stop, going the other direction, went back up, got on another train that was going the direction I wanted. Mm-hmm. I'm riding that one. That one goes down about 9 more stops, and at this point, there's like 5 people on this train.
Right.
And it's me and some lady and her 2 daughters and like a 65-year-old gentleman. Mm. And we go down like 8 or 9 more stops, and the doors open. Mm. And it sits there and sits there and sits there and sits there and sits there. And I'm like, I'm just listening to music on my headphones because it's like 11 o'clock at night.
That's what everybody does here.
I'm like, come on, man. When's this thing going to, I'm like, is there somebody down at the end who's like, some teenagers or something that are standing in the door? Mm-hmm. And then there's an announcement, that comes over, but it's in Hangul. And because I'm still watching the signs. And it comes up in Hangul, and, blah, 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 blah. And I was just sitting there looking around, and the 65-year-old gentleman who was reading a newspaper jumps up and goes, yeah, he literally jumped up and threw his paper down and goes,
like something bit me in the bum.
Yeah, he was like, train no more, train over, new train.
Oh, he's like, last
yeah, it was like last stop basically, but he was like, oh, new train, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to Pyeongtaek. Pyeongtaek. Oh no, he was, you got to get on another train.
Wrong train.
And he turned to the lady and he goes, blah, 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 said something to her in Korean. She said something back, and he was like, blah, 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 and pointed at the map and told her where to go. Mm. And then he turns back to me and he goes, Pyeongtaek. You going to Pyeongtaek? I was like, yeah, I'm going to Pyeongtaek, man. And the whole time he's yelling, you going to Pyeongtaek? I was like, yes, I am. He goes, okay.
Yeah.
He said, new train, run! And just took off. And I was like, oh, shoot. So he was like, and as he was running away, I heard him shout, follow me. I was like, okay. So I just jumped up and started running through the train. And we both ran through the train station.
You're not doing the bag drag, dang.
Yeah. Run to the train station, jump on this other train. He's like, this one take you to Pyeongtaek. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So
did he stay with you?
Yeah, he stayed with me in the car. And as we're rolling to this, we rolled down 4 more stops. Yeah. And he knew that I had to switch trains again. So he's looking out the window, like with his hands, cupped up to the window to block the light. So he's looking out the window, and I'm like, "What is this dude doing?" He's just sitting here staring out the window, and then he decides, "No, this is the wrong window," and he turns and runs to the other side. He's looking out that window. As we roll up into the station, he turns to me and he goes, "You, platform 2, not 1. This one, you go 2, not 3." I was like, okay, I got it. All right, I'll go to platform 2. And he goes, yeah. And he, literally grabbed my arm and then dragged me over to the window. And he goes, "Look," and pointed out the window. And he goes, "Right there, platform 2. And I said, "Okay, I see platform 2. He's like, "Yep, you get off train, run over there." I was, "Okay, man." So the door's open. I took off running. And I got there 30 seconds before the next train rolled up. Yeah. And, got on that guy and made it the rest of the way back home. But I was like, man, I love getting on the trains and having those old dudes yelling. And
oh, it's exciting, yeah. Well, see, and that's a good segue into talking about how the people are here, because they are very, they're very helpful. They're very customer oriented.
Oh yeah,
not
absolutely.
Even good Samaritan like, but just their customer service is always on point, really good. Now, you put these people behind the steering wheel of a vehicle, and it's like getting a mogwai wet after midnight when you fed them. They become a whole nother
crazy
little animal. Oh my gosh! So just yesterday, we get in a taxi. And we're going down the street, and there's about 5 cars in front of us. They're all stopped. But our driver needed to make a right turn. And all I heard was, "Sorry." Next thing I know, we're on 2 wheels, and I'm leaning.
Yeah.
Because he says, "Sorry," mounts the curb. And I look out the front windshield, and there's a gal standing on the corner, and she just looks over like, "What?" Dude was hauling butt. He had no intentions of stopping. And I cannot, for the love of me, Korea, I love you, but why don't you have motorcycle laws?
Oh, they do. You just ride the motorcycle wherever, man. I almost got run over by a dude on a motorcycle, and I was about 4 or 5 feet onto the sidewalk in downtown Seoul.
Yeah. Mopeds, scooters, full-sized motorcycles, doesn't matter. If they're coming to a 4-way intersection with a working light, they quickly go over to the right, like they're getting into the crosswalk, and just keep going. Like there's no light. Or they just drive on the sidewalk like, what?
Like it's GTA 5.
Yeah, man. It is. Just straight out of GTA 5. I'm just like, what? What? I mean, it quit bothering me about a week ago, but I'm just like, man, I can't believe that. How are there not more deaths? And apparently, there's no helmet laws. Now, granted, because everybody gets crazy behind the wheel, a lot of people wear helmets, I noticed, but I've seen a lot of people that have gone without helmets. And then the box stacking on the back of a scooter, where they stack them up 20 feet high, and I'm not exaggerating, literally 20 feet high, and they're hauling butt down a hillside or something. Craziness. Just craziness.
Yeah, there's the mass transit system over there is a blast, and I love taking it because
it is. Yeah, the trains are great. Subway, yeah.
Yeah, well, but it's like the people, it's like the experience of it, because I've ridden mass transit. Like in Kansas City, the little light rail that puts around, and I've been, down to New York, L.A., taking taxis, taking the subway around New York, even the buses. But I'm telling you, man, like that last trip, I had that one Korean guy who was yelling at me, dragging me around the train station, just taking off running, screaming, following me. I was like, all right. I had my own little Sherpa. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, I mean, he was totally concerned with me getting on the right train. But I was like, man, it's so late, and I've missed these trains. I've had to backtrack. It's going to be 11:30 midnight before I get back to my hotel room. I'm so freaking tired. Yeah. So I get off the train, and I get to the AK Plaza in, I don't remember where it was, which was really cool. But I was like, all right, these instructions that I found online for the area said the bus stop is across, or is in front of the McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know which way that is because there's no visible McDonald's. But the image file of the map I'd found, they had driven they had highlighted the bus route, and it was a triangle for the return trip. And so you look, and it's like the 5 streets, and it's a 4-way intersection except for this 5th street that shoots off at a 45-degree angle. I was like, well, that must be it. So I walk down there. I get there. The bus is like a minute and a half away, the sign says. I was like, all right, man, I'm making good time. You know, it might not be too bad. I don't have to wait on the bus for 15 minutes. This is lucky. Well, I go down there. I get on the bus, like a bunch of people pile on. And I don't know. I don't know what, like if the bus driver, you know, was behind schedule, or maybe, you know, he had like IBS or something and was like, gotta go. But I have never in my life ridden in a city bus that went that fast over speed bumps and corners. I mean, it was like
you have clearly never been to Brazil.
Man, have you seen that? It's like that scene in Dumb and Dumber, whenever they're flying around in that van and it cuts to the back and like the dogs are sliding all over the place.
I thought you were going to say
in the back
speed.
of the van.
Yeah.
No, man, because it was like, you know, I looked in the back, and there were people in the back of the bus that were like literally starting to slide out of their seats and onto the floor, you know, and I was like, holy crap, you know, and he's just, wah, and I mean, he was going 60 kilometers an hour down residential streets. I mean, just screaming down these streets, just plowing speed bumps. He got to a bus stop, and whenever he get to a bus stop, if nobody hit there's a button on board that illuminates a light that says stop that he sees, so that he knows somebody wants to get off.
Yeah.
And so he would get to a bus stop where there was nobody there, but like he was still felt like he had to do something. So he slammed on the brakes real hard. Everybody in the bus had lurched forward, and then he'd gun it again and take off to the next stop. And I mean, it was
I had a taxi driver literally hit 120 kilometers per hour.
Yep.
At one point on a straightaway, he just hit a straightaway, and it was like, whoa. And I was like,
yeah.
And before that, I was all, you know, once we reach that 88, we ain't gonna leave no tire marks or nothing. We ain't gonna leave the fire trail and go back in time. So take it easy. But no, it was always an adventure. Good time.
Yeah, I like it. I like it over there. I thought, man, it was like a 25-minute bus ride from going to the AK Plaza, and it was like maybe a 15 going back. I mean, that dude screamed, blew through red lights, and I don't know what was going on.
Yeah. No,
he had somewhere to be.
See, I've already done the stuff where it's like, I had them charge my card like 2 days ago, so everything posts early enough that I can do my expense report and all that fun stuff. So I'm getting my ducks in a row. I was done probably 4 or 5 days ago. Like I was explaining earlier, I woke up one of these mornings, and couldn't find a single thing in English, and I was just like, meh, I'm done with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of got to the point where going out, it's just a sea of people. Anytime you hit the street, man, it's just, you tower over everybody. It's pretty rare that I run into anybody that I can look eye to eye, and yet they do not move out of the way. When they see my broad shoulders coming, I mean, oh.
No. Yeah, it's super fascinating culturally over there, and
I feel like I got to put my elbows up over my shoulders sometimes because I don't want to accidentally hurt somebody that I just didn't see. I got stuck between my toes like toe jam.
Yeah, I was walking around in I went to the mall. I was like, I'm gonna go to the mall, and they had this super nice mall full, like everything was Hugo Boss. And, you know, Michael Kors, all this super high-end shop.
A lot of name
Gucci,
brand stuff, yeah.
And there was a kid there was 2 kids on the escalator, and they were running up and down the escalators, playing on the escalators. And I got on the escalator behind them, and they turned around to run back the other way, and they're like, oh. And then they just turned around, to face forward. And they faced forward for about 2 seconds, and then one of them turned around, and he goes, hello. And I said, hello. I was like, oh, hello. And he's like, it is nice to meet you. I was like, oh, it's very nice to meet you, too. He's clearly, just practicing, seeing how I'd respond. I was like, oh, it's very nice to meet you, too.
Yeah.
Are you having fun playing on the escalators? He was like, what? I was like, the escalators. Pantomime running. Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Ha, 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 ha. And he thought that was funny. And then they took off and ran down the escalators the other way. And I was like, all right.
Yeah. They have a very interesting thing here where you go out front the hotel here and you cannot cross the street because there's 4 lanes of traffic. And trying to cross it's like freaking, watching somebody play leapfrog. Danger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you don't have to cross, and that's the other thing. There's like no crosswalks for blocks, several blocks. But you don't have to worry about crossing the street because what they have is there's steps, flights of stairs that go down. Look like you're going to the subway, but you're not. You're actually going to a subterranean mall.
Oh, yeah, those things are crazy.
It runs like 9 or 10 blocks because I walked the length of it once. And I just stopped off at one place, and that's where I got all the souvenirs for people because they are selling spinners like crazy out of China here.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some sweet ones.
Is that the one in Seoul?
No, it's literally right outside my hotel here in Daegu.
Okay. Yeah, there's a couple of them in downtown Seoul. So I was walking around, and I'd go about 2 or 3 blocks, and you'd hit in that 104 degrees, start sweating, and then you'd hit one of those staircases going down, and you're like, time to go cool down.
Yep, cool
head down on the ground and walk around for a while.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's nice. It's a controlled environment type of thing. So, yeah, I mean, just interesting because it's as wide as the street above it, Yeah. So you got like 2 lanes of traffic for foot traffic, and then you got the stores that are a little bit bigger than the 1 lane. And, I mean, it works nicely. It's well lit. But I don't know. I went and caught a movie while I was here. I went and saw The Dark Tower.
Oh, yeah. I knew somebody here on our team who did as well.
Mm-hmm.
How was that anyway?
If we turn this into a quick review of it,
I mean, it's 1 a.m. Do it.
I'd say wait for Netflix.
Oh, okay. That's too bad. I like Idris Elba.
It was short. It was really short. They only played 1 trailer, and we were out of there in less than an hour and a half. So I'm sure somebody that's read the book will bury it because they're like, oh my gosh, the book was so much better, which there's T-shirts and bumper stickers that say that. People get over it. So as a movie, as a screenplay, you know what it reminded me of? My official review would be if you're down for a never-ending story type of vibe, it's enjoyable. If you like ridiculous gunplay that is entirely impossible, it'll be your
thing. Go see Wanted.
Yeah, or The Dark Tower. So
sure.
I mean, was it bad? No. Was it good? If you're just looking to turn your brain off for a very short time, go ahead. But if you're going to spend top dollar, pass. It is not worth a $9 ticket, and I only paid $6.50. So,
hey.
But Idris Elba, whatever he's in, is good. He does a good job. And honestly, Matthew McConaughey didn't even bother me. I was waiting for him to be like, I'm going to destroy the world. All right. He never did.
All right.
Well, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that'd basically be my review of it. Now, as a review for Korea, what do you think? How would you rate your experience this time around?
Oh, visiting the country?
Yeah. I mean, it's I
10 out of 10, man.
Since we're going to be back so soon, I'm just kind of like.
Yeah, see, man, I had fun. I like going, but then I like taking the mass transit, and I always seem to have a knack for drawing eccentric characters. It seems like. I mean,
yes, you do.
Like I've regaled you with tales of going to San Diego Comic-Con, and I had that dude trying to get me to hold his black square trash bag thing. It's like, here, hold this. Man, I ain't hold it. It looks like a brick of marijuana. And that dude followed me for like 20 minutes, man.
That's all in our first introduction. If you guys missed out on that story, you got to go back and listen to our Two Lazy Guys intro.
Yeah, did that get posted?
Oh, yeah. It's up there. It's out there.
Okay. Yeah, but, so I like going, because you're kind of the odd man out. You get stuff, like I'm walking around and kids will start talking to me, and I'll look at a sign, and all I have to do is stand there and look confused at it for a minute, and somebody will come up, inevitably, every time, and be like, do you need help? So I like the food, the people, the mass transit's a blast.
I've had a good time. Yeah, I can't complain other than, it does get a little too overcrowded for me, a little too populated, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But again, we stay in the city, so I'm sure on the outskirts the countryside's probably awesome. This is a valley that I'm in. Everywhere I look when I'm up as high as I am, if I go up to the 23rd floor, it's all mountains. So it's in a valley. 8th floor has a swimming pool. Okay, so 8th floor was interesting because they had a bikini party. And this is how I know I am now an old man. Went down there.
Mm-hmm. Shameful. You scolded everyone. Shameful.
No, they had a DJ representing this thing, and they were playing some freaking club dubstep stuff, just boom, 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 and I was like, this is too loud. I can't even deal with this. And,
man, go watch Key and Peele's dubstep.
Everybody will make us feel like, friggin' dirty old preverts. So we
you were just standing outside the window,
doing like that,
your
dude.
Eyes. Yeah, just shading it with my eyes.
It was just a bunch of young bucks out there, So we just went back upstairs, called it a night. I think I played some video games or something. I don't know. They just had
snuck back down.
They just did the last Iron Banana on Destiny. So.
Oh,
and
yeah,
boy,
man.
Let me tell you, the PvP, the Korean servers here, that crap's for real, man. I don't know if it was because I was rusty, hadn't played in over 2 weeks, or what. I got owned. No. We're talking like 0.08 KD.
Yeah.
I was getting crushed.
Yeah, so, that's just how you'd fare over here, probably.
My gosh, it was brutal.
Yeah, you're not a real gamer.
Iron Banana was fun. Oh, I don't know. These guys probably all own the same controller that I bought while I'm here. Freaking esports special edition stuff. They probably all own one.
Yeah. Well, they're serious about it. Whereas, you're clearly not.
Yeah. No. I didn't just bring my PS4 thousands of miles because I'm casual.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Me, I didn't even bring mine. You know what I did? I brought my Wacom tablet here because I was like, man, I'm going to learn to do some graphics design. I'm going to use my Wacom tablet and get super good at this. And, I'm going to be designing graphics for Microsoft and, go to work for, Paramount Universal Pictures, making movie posters. I don't know, whatever delusions. And so I hauled all this shit over there to Korea with me, and then I left the proprietary stylus at home, the pen for it.
Oh,
so
poop.
I had this, graphics tablet with about 10 pounds of accessories that I stared at for 11 days and then threw it back in the box and shipped it home. Well, I got caught up on a lot of TV.
The Vita saved me on the flight over. Because I probably spent, 4.5 hours just gaming on the plane.
Man, I did the same thing, but with my laptop now, since I got this laptop. And they gave, it's got the 1060 in it, a GeForce 1060. So I can game all day with this thing, man. And they had the AC outlet there, so I plugged in. I just sat there and smashed up cars for like 3 hours on the flight going back home.
I'm plugged in right now. They got two 110 outlets. So I've been charging everything, trying to get stuff ready for the flight.
Yeah, the first time I ever flew over there, I was like, oh, okay. I got a console. I brought my Xbox with me. And this was way back in the day. I was like, all right, I'm going to do some Xboxing. So I put my, the universal plug adapter on it. And I couldn't reach where the plug was. And I didn't want the brick on the floor because the brick gets hot. So I set it on the table. Like right here about, once I kneeled down, the brick's like right here basically against my cheek, and I reached back and plugged it in, and it turns out the brick is 110, so it went BAM! And just exploded into my face.
Oh, crap.
And, so that was, the first horrifying experience, that I had, for Korea, but, I didn't wind up like Darkman or anything, from it.
Well, for those gamers out there that are listening that are interested, if you plug a 220 and you use a straight adapter, the PlayStation 4 is a rated machine. I mean, you think it comes out of Japan. It is rated to handle just the adapter. So you go 110 into 220, it's safe. It's okay.
Yeah, the PS4 says 110, 240 on it. The Xbox One, or the 360 at least, said, even though on the back it says made in Japan, you plug it into 210 and it explodes in your face.
So there we go. There's the useful tip for some of our listeners, possibly.
No, man, the number one tip for me, if you got to fly international and you got to go to Korea or Germany or someplace like that, is that whenever you fly and you get on your big, long 14-hour trip, whenever you pack and you have your carry-on, put 2 full meals in there. Because you can use one to supplement on the 14-hour flight if you need, but you should always assume that if you're in Korea or Japan, when you land, everything is going to be closed. And if you don't bring food with you, you go back to your hotel, and it's about 12 hours of being hungry in your room before you can go get food.
That's valid. Yeah, no, what I already have planned is some Snicker bars.
Oh, candy bar.
Some Snickers, that way, I don't get hangry.
Oh, you're going to go into some sort of a shock on the plane.
Yeah. Other people would. They'd be like, oh no, it's Incredible Hulk.
They're probably just shutting you out the bottom of the plane like Nicolas Cage dumped Dave Chappelle's body out in Con Air.
Yeah, see, in my case, since I'm already spooning the landing gear, they just open up that little bay door and let me out.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, come tomorrow, all I have to say about Korea is so long. Not sayonara. I don't even know how to say goodbye in Korean. I know how to say thank you. So of course I'll say thank you to it.
Annyeong, I'll say
감사합니다.
Yeah, I know 감사합니다. That's thanks.
Good times.
But annyeong, I'll say they seem to shout coming and going.
Oh yeah. But that's pretty much been my time here.
Yeah.
Did we ever do an introduction on this one? I forgot.
Yeah, a little ways in.
Oh, okay. So everybody knows that this is Two Lazy Guys, Colin. And following the colon on this one is Korea. Yeah, life in Korea. I'm Jared. And
Yeah,
Still
I'm Dave
eating
back here in the
that
Midwest.
spicy ramen.
Yeah, spicy ramen. You
Yep.
get spicy ramen to cheese, and whenever they bring it out to you, it's like the cheapest ramen
the cheesy
possible.
ramen.
With it's got like a slice of Velveeta on top.
Cheesy ramen. That's
I
good
thought
stuff.
it was gonna be, like some. I was in my brain. I was imagining, some sort of like in America, what would be like a $40, bowl of noodles or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's got ramen and it's got cheese in it. It's going to be like some grated Parmesan and Colby Jack or something. Nope, they bring it out. It's Velveeta single slice melting in the top.
That's better than what I had because it looked like a slice of American singles.
Yeah.
Like they took the plastic wrapper off it and just tossed it on there.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy.
Just get you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Why wouldn't I?
But yeah. No. Very little complaints. It's been good.
Yep.
It's treated me okay. But I am ready to get back home. So ready.
Well,
and it looks like, my goodness, look at this. What? Raiders of the Lost Ark just came on, and I'm looking at it in Hangul right
now. Did they dub it in Hangul?
It's not. Being this old, it should be dubbed, but so far it's subtitled.
I know. I would pay for a dubbed.
For a dubbed. You know what? Somebody needs to put the Blu-ray or the DVD in now and tell me what languages are available, because this is an older film. You would think this would be available in Hangul.
You think? I don't know, man. It'd be a little expensive.
I don't know. I have to wait until somebody's talking now, because it literally just started.
Dr. Jones.
Music, John Williams, one of the greatest composers of our time. Dr. Jones, I think.
Yeah, Dr. Jones.
Some people will say Hans Zimmer, I say no.
No?
No. Because, come on. Freak, man. He's won how many Golden Boys, and he just, like, any music from any movie in the past, good gosh. 30, 40 years, John Williams. Everybody can hum one of his songs.
Oh, yeah?
Everybody can hum one even if they don't know it's his song.
Really?
Frank Marshall produced this? No kidding.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar, so I'm uncultured.
Can you hum the theme song from
masses.
Jaws?
Yeah.
Dun-na, dun-na. John Williams.
Oh, no. Oh, I didn't realize there were lyrics to it.
Star Wars, same thing. John Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, he's musically is diverse. Lyrically, it's very
little stunted,
monothematic here.
Afraid so. Well, yeah, he's.
I wonder, is that what they do? You think they're like, here's an epic space opera. We need another John Williams themed song. And so they hire John Williams, and then they just drop the lyric track.
Oh, Johnny boy, oh, Johnny boy.
I can't wait, man. I'd love to see him go up there and accept one of those Golden Boys where, after it doesn't, he's fuming, stomps up there and takes and snaps it.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be John
Williams. John Williams.
Yeah.
Come on, say something, Dr. Jones. Are you speaking the Hangul or the English?
It belongs in a museum.
They don't talk at the beginning. And you know what? That's freaking Molina, isn't it? That's Alfred Molina right there. Young buck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
man, I'm getting all kinds of sidetracked now.
What is happening? Whenever I watched that, I watched it with the boys here not too long ago, like maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and went, I know that guy.
It's English. I'll be danged. Yeah, no, that's surprising, man. I mean, this movie's like 86? Don't quote me on that. It could be 80. 4. Without fact checking, man, I can't say, but it's an old one.
Oh, I'll just take your word for it. You know what I did watch, though, while I was there?
What was that?
I watched the director's cut of RoboCop.
What? The new one or old one?
No, the old one, man.
Oh, good. Okay, the original.
Peter Weller's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Dang straight.
Florence Boddicker.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, man. It's like, man. And then I watched Total Recall.
Oh, yeah?
The old one. Schwarzenegger. 2 weeks. All that. Just went back and found all these 80s action movies and started watching them.
Nice.
I brought them with me, though, to help. Because it was planned. But hey, anyway.
All right. I'm going to try to fact check myself real quick.
Okay. Well, it's like 1:20. I'm going to go Thebes.
Might be a good idea.
On the microphone.
All right. Let me see what I got here. We got... Oh, my gosh. 1981? Really?
Yeah.
Really? June 12th, 1981. Oh,
yeah.
Holy crap. I must be remembering when I watched it. Because I was like 84. Dadgum, baby. Woo.
Yep.
Oh, look at this. Everybody wants to know if I'm going to go bowling tonight or something. All right. Well, yeah, we should go ahead and leave this one. As always, it's been fun, educational, and enlightening. But I must bid you adieu again. This is live from Korea.
It's been enlightening, but...
Always.
Yeah. Well, partially. Partially live from Korea.
Yeah. One of these days we'll figure out how to do it, the whole show from Korea, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, maybe this, what is it? October, November.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do our Halloween special live from Korea. How about that?
That's a good idea. I'm going to go watch some horror movies now.